West with no background, no credit checks, from anything from $100 to $5,000, $10,000 down. You can buy. I'm telling you, man. I almost bought. Okay, so there's 40 acres in Arizona on the Mogollon Rim. So this is like
The where?
The Mogollon Rim.
Okay.
So it's at 6,000 feet. It's out about of air. It's up out of Phoenix, 2.5 hours.
Hey, that's not for
And it's
you.
right on the edge of the national forest, but it's a big high plateau, flatland. So Flagstaff and Phoenix, and then way up here, 17,000 for 40 acres. They wanted $1,000 down and $234 a month. No credit checks, no background checks.
What was the 234 a month
That
for?
was your payment on
Oh,
the
your
land.
payments
So
on the
you just
land.
buy it off the internet. They hold the contract,
Uh-huh.
and it's gold because they get it back if you miss the payments and the little thing. You sign a whole contract.
Okay.
But you miss the payments, they just take it back, and they're happy to do that because then they'll just resell it again. So but you can buy all this stuff. So I bought the desert piece off the internet. And then I bought 5 acres. I was going to buy it on the internet, but I actually went to Colorado and bought 5 acres in the mountains for $7,000. 5 acres, and a beautiful with views of 14,000 foot peaks. I mean, there's so much land for sale for nothing, and I just wanted a place to bury my bone. Like a place to lay your head, warm your bones beside the fire.
I understand.
After you come home because I love travel.
Well, you can call it home, but it's a base, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be there right now. I'd be in Mexico. See, I wanted to go to San Felipe and put a trailer.
I like
boat
San
down there.
Felipe a lot. I've been there a few times.
And so, but with the COVID thing, I just don't trust the border. I don't want to be like. I don't want to be lost and have bad internet or something, if I'm on the beach down there, for a couple, 3 or 4 days, and then find out they're closing the border in a couple days and I didn't and next thing you know, now you're like,
Stuck in
I just don't trust it, man, because there's a lot of freedoms in the U.S. that, and one of them is I'm not going to get stuck, somewhere. But so I'm right in that corner, Inyo County, no law.
Inyo County and Topeka.
Tecopa, yeah.
Tecopa.
Yeah.
Are you into teas and stuff?
I do love
These are
teas.
some kind of cleansing teas.
Yes, I have like
Detox teas,
16
okay.
different kinds of teas,
But
Tom.
I wasn't sure what those are.
do you
but-
not? Yeah. So
Oh,
you,
no, I grabbed a whole bunch.
you don't want them?
No.
Why?
I don't know, they just say detox. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
They say
yeah.
detox, and Tom's not going to
mushrooms.
detox.
Oh, the reishi mushroom one's really good.
Oh.
These are all good. These are yogi ones. I know them.
Well, I already got.
Thank you, Tom.
just
That's
got
really
some
kind
fruit
of you.
ones.
Are you sure you don't drink them? Because I drink tea, all these teas every
I got
day.
some fruity ones I grabbed. But
I like the fruity ones
I
too.
just
That's
didn't
so
like the
cool.
names of those, yeah.
Yeah, detox.
You didn't want your skin
They
all
might-
like
They might
detox,
taste great,
Yeah, next thing you know, Tom's looking all, his skin's
Yeah.
all like super
glowing
soft.
with reishi mushrooms.
Yeah,
I don't want
they're like,
girls hanging out.
yeah, you don't need that drama.
Save the fruity ones for the girls, Tom.
Yeah. No, so that's it. So I built my cabin, 16 by 16, and then I have
What did you build it out of?
wood. I bought,
Yeah, and did you, because it's on desert land and stuff like that, what was your base? How did
my
you do it?
foundation.
Yes.
So I had acquired all these shipping, wooden shipping, like containers. So they're like thick plywood with really heavy duty 5x7 or 7x7, but most of them are 5x7, and a forklift can pick them up. So, and then they have so they're a big, thick, heavy duty pallet.
Yes.
And then they have 3/4 inch plywood on the top because they were shipping, and they're marine grade plywood. It doesn't, and so I made my floor out of all of those, a bunch of those, and then I put my first put of siding on was just regular particle board, press board, but I'll be putting this plywood that was the sides of all these 15 containers I got. And I hauled it all from my place in Northern California when I moved out there. So then I'll double wall the outside, and then I'll use styrofoam reflective insulation for the roof. But I have a flat roof on it, so I can stargaze on it. So I'll have a stairway up, and I can shoot my guns, and it's just wonderful being
it
above the
sounds
ground.
brilliant.
Oh gosh, it's just
Yeah,
freaking ridiculous.
I was doing some stargazing out in the Mojave about 10 days ago. It was
the
amazing.
meteor shower was just a couple
Yes,
weeks ago.
I saw a few.
Yeah, it wasn't. The moon was too bright, so
Yeah.
it wasn't as good as it. Oh no, but it's so that I specifically got this place because it was in no man's land, and I knew that you could build small little structures or whatever without permits.
And how big is the area where the no man's land rule applies? Do you know?
Well, it's probably 20 square miles, 15 square miles.
Is there not a lot of other people doing that? It's got the same.
The closest person to me is a half a mile.
Okay.
And there's little groups that have power, they have wells. I can drill a well on mine. Power would be too expensive, but wells are only 160 feet, and there's water.
Okay, so what's the cost of drilling? And then you've got to assess the water.
$7,000 to drill a well, probably.
To drill, and then you've got to do the pump and do the rest, or is that just the cost of drilling?
It's probably depending on which well digger that I've talked to a couple different ones. Some of them with that's including the pump, because pump's $500, $700. It's not that much, and all the well guys, most of them include the pipe in, but they won't. You got to have a pump to put in there, and they'll install it if you do it all at one time.
Yes.
But if you have a separate, drilled the well, now wait, then you got to pay more to have somebody come out special, to drop your pump in.
Yes.
But
so what about getting the pH of the water right and testing the water?
I have my own gravity filters. I have my own filter, so whatever water I got out of there would be fine.
You're just going to filtrate it?
I would filter it, just because of any heavy metals or anything.
Exactly, yeah.
They blew nukes off near Vegas. What the heck, you know what I mean? Back in the day. They
Really?
People in Vegas see the mushroom cloud. Google nuclear testing Las Vegas in the 50s and 60s.
So there's still radiation in the soil?
Not where I'm at, but it's north in different places. But I'm sure stuff blew around. So.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Hey, my days are,
But if you're going down 160 feet to wet the water, you're fine, I would imagine.
And this Pahrump, it was an Indian name, meaning, and it has to do with artesian wells. Because before, there were tons of artesian wells, which are just wells that are self-pressurized.
Yes.
You just drill a hole.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
water comes
Well, you
out
can
the
use an
ground.
Archimedes screw to get that up.
Yeah, if you can get far enough down.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure you can.
Okay.
But I mean, I just don't know. Where the water table comes up higher.
Yeah.
And where it's lower.
Yeah.
But that's the Indian name for the town of
Pahrump.
That's where it is. That's the closest town, and so, but that's. But you can haul water. You can buy water for 12 cents a gallon in town. So I take in a container, big container, and then but I was going to be in San Felipe for 3 months in the summer because you can't be in the desert. You go out there for a couple days, and I grew up here, so I come here. I came here all summer. I was just crushed when it was closed.
Well, I was still down here during the summer being naughty, running in and out the rocks.
Atta girl, man, because I'll tell you what, man.
I did not stay. I was down here more when the beach was banned than I have been since it opened. Because once it opened up again, I didn't like it because there's too many people. Yeah. So I'm a bit antisocial. That's why I want to be out in the middle of nowhere.
It's so funny. I love you. I love you.
I don't really like people that much. You know
what? I've read music venues. But I am a loner now. Kind of a loner.
Oh yeah, you get more like.
It gets lonely, but but there's plenty of girls around. But
you can have little parties when you want.
Yeah.
The good thing is you can do what you want when you want. And your costs are minimal, your overheads are minimal. Yeah. If you've got your solar and you've got a well eventually and you've got your Jenny, then you just buy your food, don't you? That's it. And then it's not easy to grow in the desert, but if you built another kind of container, you could do hydroponics or anything.
If you had water,
you could grow a load of weed out there.
All you have is water. All you need is water.
Yeah.
And you just get some better dirt. And you know how you do that is you just go somewhere else and fill up buckets of dirt. And it just takes everything's just a slow process. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, when you're living on your own like that, it's the being self-sufficient kind of, there's no better feeling. Because we used to work so we could pay for everything and buy everything.
Yeah, it's a slave show. It's a slave shit show.
When you work all day at your own stuff, there's totally a very rewarding thing.
Yes.
A hamburger helper at night, just some crappy noodles and hamburger meat tastes like filet mignon. You know what I mean? Because you work till you feel good. You're really feeling good.
When I was 19, I moved to Quebec, and we were living subsistence living, and I didn't have any money. I had some pigs, chickens, one cow, and we had to chop trees down because it was maple syrup. And I had to work my ass off all day long in the snow, and it was the old pipe and tap.
Oh,
bucket
where you
method.
actually,
that was
pounded it in and screwed it in
that
and
was
put
hard
the little
work.
nozzle and
Yes.
hung the bucket.
And then chopping all the wood for the sugar house to burn it to make the
Yeah.
maple syrup. So I had to
Man.
bake everything myself, cook everything, and I was 19.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, it was fun, but
So now I do this because so I come here and I don't stay in a hotel. I just bounce around sleeping because it's fun, and I like to see what I could get away with. I like to see without being. I don't damage things. I'm
no,
not,
you're respectful.
But I stay on Fiesta Island, until they were letting you stay on Fiesta Island until this week, twice during the week, but the rest of the time, on like Sunday night through Thursday, they weren't throwing you off Fiesta Island. So you've never been able to camp on Fiesta, really.
No.
And so here I is during the thing. I'm like, I got pictures of me in my little fire pit. And there's nobody for like hundreds of yards because everybody leaves the island when they think it closes at 10.
Yeah,
but
because they think they have to.
Yeah, they weren't kicking you off. They didn't do it. But now on the weekends they throw everybody off because
Okay.
it's such a party,
Yeah.
So where are you? Are you Mount Laguna? Are you?
So
Juliet?
I'm
You don't have to say.
no,
either,
it's
but-
fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm near Flint Springs,
Uh-huh.
Blossom Valley area, near El Capitan. I look out on El Capitan.
Yeah.
But-
just on just outside of Lakeside.
That's right. But my friend does all the work for the trustees of Mount Laguna. So he gets this cabin, and he's a builder, but he's also like a mountain, outgoing person. So he gets this cabin right on the top of Laguna, just up from the store. And so I get to stay there. I was there all Christmas on my own. I got snowed in. My water froze. I had no logs left. The electric went out. It was
I
great.
know
I
that
loved
life.
it. I loved it.
I think it's fun to just see how much you can. Here's what's up. When you're a little kid and you build a fort,
Yeah.
you spend your whole time making your fort as
Yeah.
cool as can be, just like the kids that are building sand castles down here.
Yeah.
They're trying to. So that's all it is. When the water goes, that stuff goes out. You're figuring out the best way to survive, to make
Yes.
yourself comfortable. That's really fun and
It
rewarding.
is
isn't
because
it?
for me to be able to get heat, to be able to cook, meant walking through the snow with. I had a long extension cord. I put that in my pocket because I knew old Tom at the store had some round sledges with handles on, so I knew I could strap that to the sledge, pile it with logs and wood, and then I had to drag that through the snow back to the cabin, and that was then my heat, just to be able to get food,
Oh, man, I love that. I'm like,
Join the round table.
I can share. So I go, oh gosh, man, I can share so many stories.
Yeah.
Same kind of stuff. So here's a funny one. So I have 57 acres in the mountains of Washington, surrounded by state land, 2 trout streams on the property, and meadows, and just, ridiculous. So I'm off the grid, 9 miles up a dirt road. So I built my own little mini septic system, but it's a total functioning just like it, but instead of having a big 1,000-gallon tank, I'm using a 55-gallon drum because I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And then that's the best way. And then you haul the waste out, and it goes to the dump instead of like ruining your ground, that you live on. But you can make a nice septic.
But doesn't the septic fertilize the ground?
Yeah,
Just
except
for runoff and
yeah,
seepage?
Exactly, because that's where the fluid goes.
Yeah.
The effluent is what it's called. That goes out there. So I had it down like 2 feet, but we were like, I was below zero for like a week, man, at night, and so it froze. So I had really long hair, a really long beard, and I'm out there with a piece of rebar and a sledgehammer, and I had to dig it up because the top of the tank froze.
Yeah.
So it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I had to break it. So I'll never forget, just chipping away. And then when I went in and I was inside, and I looked at the cabin, looked at myself. I had like flakes of like the green flakes of the shit stuff, and it was frozen because it was like 5 degrees out. So it was frozen to my hair and everything, and I was like, ah! But I didn't know, but the chips were flying off, and when it's really cold, you can't feel anything.
Yeah.
My hair, it was just, and so I'm like brushing, staying outside.
Because you can't just jump in the shower, right?
I didn't want to know. Yeah, no, you can't, man.
I
You can't
know.
just, you know what I mean? Because you just don't have that.
Yeah.
You got your shower.
Everything is a process.
That's
You
right.
have to plan and prepare
Oh my
everything
gosh.
ahead.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting ready. And so I used to shower I put a big iron tub in it, which is like the hardest thing in the world, to haul this iron tub up there, big clawfoot bathtub, and I put it right next to the wood stove. So at times it would
You could have
warm,
a bath.
and then I used a flower watering pot, because the flower watering pot had a curved handle.
Yes.
And I just found this out by like going, I'm just going to use it for a shower. So I'm standing next to the wood stove. You got hot water, then you got your cold water jug. So you're mixing it in the water pot, and then I hang the water pot off with a string.
Yeah.
And as you tip it, because of the curved handle,
Yeah.
it tips back up.
Oh,
And I didn't know that.
That's
I
so
didn't know
cool.
it was going to do that. I thought I was going to have to tip it and then push it back up.
Yes.
But it turned into like a string sound, because you just tip it over and the water would go out the little water spout.
Because of the center of gravity
Yeah,
pulls it
because
back.
the curve. Because of the
Yes,
curved
yeah.
handle, and then it would tip itself back up. And I was like, and then you're standing right next to the wood stove.
Yeah,
so
you're
you
warm.
got your hot. You said it's a plan. You got your hot water. You can't just go, I'm just going to take a shower. No, you got to go, okay.
How
I
do
got
I
to get my towel. Got to get my clean
get
clothes ready.
prepared?
That's right, man. You
Yeah.
got the whole thing.
Yeah.
Get the wood stove fired up, but it was nice because there was times the water was never that warm because I couldn't warm enough of it.
Yeah.
But just being next to the wood stove,
Yeah.
sometimes the tub would get
It's
warm.
invigorating though. It's really good for your lymphatic system to be really cold.
So I had a well drilled on that property.
Okay.
And it was 25 feet deep. And like 20
You only had to go 25 feet there,
20
right?
Well, I had 2 streams on the property.
Yeah.
But I witched my own, I didn't drill on the streams, but I witched my own water. So I used cedar boughs, but then I used copper. I used copper wire. And so I actually did the walking
Dowsing.
around.
You dowsed.
Dowsing, yeah.
Yeah,
They call
yeah.
it witching up there.
Oh, witch.
dowsing,
Yes,
but-
yes, I've seen the
yeah,
witching.
and
Yeah.
so, but I literally, you can find the water streams. They turn side. I could do it. And I went, I'm going to drill here. And the driller's all, it's your money, man. You sure you don't want to have, we have a guy we use. It's an Indian guy, because it was near a reservation. He goes to the Indian guy, and he's like 9 out of 10 times he's dead on.
That's really
And I
cool.
just went, no, I'm doing it myself, man. I said, but I did it. I did it like 100 times, and then I'd follow it because I wanted to make sure. I thought, well, maybe it was just electricity that day, or maybe I had a good energy, or maybe I was in a bad mood and it did it, But I did it over, and you know what? They drilled. They said, you had the spot, man. You hit right on an underground stream.
That's really satisfying because then you know you've done it all yourself.
Yeah. And so I built this little cabin out in the desert out there because I don't really know anybody at all. And so I built it all by myself. Because and here's what I figured: whatever I have, if I can't, I brought an old piano and an organ, and they're going to be in my little cabin. Because the piano's out of tune, but it's an upright piano where you can open it up. Yeah. And I thought, I've always wanted to learn. I could mess around, but I wanted to play piano. But it's going to be in my cabin. But I had to unload it from my trailer, load it on my trailer, and then unload it from my trailer.
Yeah.
So I had to make a big plywood walkway, to push it, by myself, and then I got to go up a little bit into the cabin.
Yeah.
And it took like 5 times to push it in. If you can't, my rule is, if I can't move it by myself, then I can't have it.
Okay.
Because
you're self-sufficient.
You're self-sufficient. You can't have something you can't move because it's in the way, and now you're like stuck. So
yeah, because then you have to rely on other people, and that's not the point.
No, that's not the point. And so that's how I gauge what I can and cannot have.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
By if I can't move it, but my kids are all, but you're going to find a way to move it anyway. And I'm like, well, yeah. That's
Cantilever. Look at how the Egyptians did things. You know what I mean?
I have so I found these there were 10 of them. These super hard cardboard. They're like 4 feet, 3.5 feet really, but they're super hard cardboard rollers, like the inside of a paper towel roller. But they must add industrial paper or plastic, but they're super hard and they're round. That's how I move heavy stuff around. Mm-hmm. I just put them on there,
like a pulley.
I just roll it on top of it, and I can move 500-pound things, around that
That's how they did things back in the day.
And you move you get it 10 feet, and you pull them out, move it again.
They used lodgepole kind of things, didn't they?
So you know how that is, and but I think that's all the fun of it.
It is.
If you're going to get old and die, might as well get old and die on those terms.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
But the beach is so wonderful. Even the Crow, when it's crowded, there's still I come down to people watch. It's funny because I live in the middle of nowhere by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go 5 days without
I
seeing
understand.
or talking to anybody.
I don't not see anybody, but I crave that solitude when I want it. Yeah.
So I'm an hour, like I said, I'm by Tacopa, an hour and a half from Death Valley. And so nobody's out. You drive the Death Valley Highway to get to my place. You know, or it says no services 57 miles.
So yeah, I mean, what's to get to where you are? Is there any kind of tracks, or have you put a track in there on the land to get?
So
to...
there, it's in. Here's where my 2.5 acres. There was a development called Charleston View that was it was built in the like boom time, I guess 2004.
Yeah.
When they thought this was going to be like a bedroom community for Las Vegas because it's an hour.
Yeah.
You go up over the mountains and then down, because you know the mountains outside Las Vegas are 12,000 feet tall, right there.
Okay.
Right there, they have Red Rock, the whole Red Rock area.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Moab, you know, crazy Red Rocks. But so you go over that to get there, and so it never got going. It looks like, you know, the economy took a dump and the housing took a dump, and so it just never got going. So they're just overgrown little, like, they were roads, but they were all overgrown with bushes. So
if you have a 4-wheel drive or something like that,
so
you're okay.
I drive my Subaru out there. I can drive this in 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I don't put it in 4-wheel drive.
Oh, really?
But
So that'll do.
But yeah, in 2-wheel. But if I'm towing anything, I have to bring 4-wheel drive in.
Yeah.
But and then so behind me are where people live towards the road. But like this whole view out here is on a soul. So you know, I'm like the farthest guy out, but it was just a little development, and but they never got it. It never got running, so it never got anything built.
I mean, even if they did do something like that, it would be a shame. That would increase the value of your land.
Oh, I'm land's,
you know that.
Here, land's going up everywhere. So, and now especially because people are freaked out over the COVID thing.
Yeah.
They want to have a place to get away.
Yeah, and they don't. They're discouraging people living out. They want everybody in the city where they can control them.
You got it. They want everybody to move to the city.
Gender 21.
That's right.
Yeah.
You guys.
So.
And so I'm kind of like I'm not like an apocalyptic prepper, but you know, I have food for a year and a half.
You're already way ahead of the game
I have food for a year and a half. Water filters.
But you know, it's sensible.
Yeah, it's and like my daughter, she used to be scared of all this. She's in her senior year in Seattle in college, university.
All right.
And I remember talking to her on the phone this last winter, and she's like, you know, I was thinking about it. If it did go crazy, Dad, it would be fun to see how much fun we could have in the craziness and still survive. Because before she was really scared about, because I would buy my kids like cool stuff, you know, that was like for survival stuff, and they would be like, Dad's
I'm
crazy.
telling mine every day, little things do not scare them. Yeah.
And so, but then she finally said, you know, I'm not scared anymore. I think it would be fun to just see how much fun we could have.
Well, she knows she's got you, and you're already prepared. So that's really cool.
You know, so it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm not like I'm not like, you know, eating snakes and insects out there, you know.
You're not Bear Grylls yet.
I live a comfortable life, you know. I have no, you know, I'm civilized.
I've had snake.
Yeah, I'm civilized, is what I guess I say.
Yeah.
There's a brown blacktail hare that lives on my place, and I see, you know, and I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I think it might be a girl, but it's I hope she's not offended that I call her my rabbit, a silly rabbit, and even though she's a hare, she's a desert.
Well, they
hare.
have to have those big ears for the heat transfer.
I'm sure. I always wonder if the animals out there go, what the fuck are you living here for? You can leave. We can't leave. We're stuck here. Yeah. We're stuck in the desert. You could go to where we've heard there's water someplace. You could go where there's a lake, but you stay out here in the desert. But I'm only an hour.
I think it's
I'm an hour and 15 minutes from Lake Mead and an hour from the Strip.
Okay.
So if I want, and one of the reasons too is I got it out there because you want to be somewhat close if you need something serious, supplies or something. You don't want to be like 4 hours from a town, because if you're like that, then you're like, if you need something, like, you know, it's an epic journey. But so I wanted to be an hour from Vegas.
I think that sounds sensible.
You know, so that you can be at a really big city and buy something if you need it, like repairs on something or, you know. But I use a solar panel, and you know what's crazy is I just leave my stuff out there. My solar panel's sitting outside, and it's not hooked up because I rotate it with the sun, you know, because if you don't get solar right on that panel, I mean, the amps are hugely different when it's at an angle
Yeah.
to when it's straight. So I just rotate mine around, but I leave it out there outside. Nobody touches my stuff. I've never seen another footprint in 3 years I've owned it.
So I had dinner with an old friend last night, and his job is solar. So I was picking his brains. Like, you know, if I get somewhere or do something, can he help me with that? And he will, you know.
Oh yeah, so there you go. And you know what? It's inexpensive. You know, you do your research and you can have a simple system very inexpensively. And the key thing now is, so they have new refrigerators. These newer, because they have these new motors that they've come out with. They're better and they're expensive, but they're like an ice chest. So it's a fridge, but it's like shaped like an ice chest because you know, when you open a fridge, all the cold air tumbles out.
Yes.
You know, because it's cold air sinks, and so when you open the door, but when you're out in the desert, it's you know, wow, the porpoises. Look. So like from where you are with your shoulder, it just made a great jump straight out and quite a ways out. See him? No, that's a bird flopping. See that bird out there, way out there?
Yeah.
That's where the porpoise just jumped.
Okay.
Man, I've seen them. They've been here the last couple of days. But they have these new ice chests that can run off solar. But they're refrigerators. So they have one side is a freezer, but when you open the lid at the top, your cold air doesn't escape.
Because it's down at the bottom.
Yeah. And
that's why they make chest freezers the way they do.
Exactly. And they man these things, and so they're like really, really efficient. So they'll run on solar, because that's the number one thing. Is, I mean, you can get water because you can buy water. You know, whether a lot of little towns in the desert, they have like free water haul places.
Oh, right.
You know, you can go up and they have meters, and then like on that Arizona property, they have huge wells that are for the property owners of the 40 acres that are free.
That's cool.
So you go up and it's all potable, it's all good drinking water right out of like these like wells that are run on solar.
Better than all the shit they give us here with all the chemicals in.
That's right.
Because there's no chlorine and phosphates in it.
I can't stand the taste of that.
It's awful.
So if you can get one of those fridges on solar, or you have a propane one, you know, propane works, but when it's 110, 115.
I'm always a bit nervous of propane.
You know what, I run mine on propane, but when I leave, I turn everything off.
Yeah.
You know, I empty my
Just something
fridge.
about heat and propane that scares me.
Yeah, there is
After seeing that lighter blow up in the cabin.
I was going to tell you, after the lighter thing,
I know.
I'm a little nervous of the lighter thing.
Yeah, just make sure they're Bix.
And I got one in there that's like one of those clear ones.
I do. I've got one right now in my car. I haven't learned, but yeah.
So that's it. So yeah, it's that's what I did. I come here.
Do you think you could grow some kind of food out there?
Absolutely. All you need is water. You can grow stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
So all you need is water. If it's not direct sun, then you have just put up a shade screen for a certain time of the day. So maybe during the hottest time of the day, when the sun might just burn the plants.
Yes.
That was when the plants will get a shade. But in the morning, the sun will shine underneath it on one side, and then in the afternoon or evening, you can shine the other way. So
it's getting the chlorophyll doing.
Yeah. So it's still getting sunlight, but you're not getting that. Like noon, 1 o'clock, 11 to 3 o'clock, straight up and down where the sun in the desert is like. But you could, I mean.
If you have a well, you can create some irrigation system.
You can make anything you want.
And my brain's like.
Yeah, you got it, man. The whole water, it's not and of course then you can use all your gray water. You know, water.
Recycle.
Recycle that.
There's all that. You can find all this information on the internet now. It's so helpful.
Oh, there it is. It jumped again. Oh my gosh! Look now. Look.
So they've gone over there.
Yeah, just where you just pointed, you'll see. Gosh, that was a big jump. Let's see if it jumps again. Oh,
they're so unpredictable, aren't they? You can't.
But they're not dolphins. I think they're porpoises because that's what they are here. They're not dolphins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't think they have dolphins out here. I think they maybe they do, but they're black.
They're blacker.
They're straight black, and they're a porpoise. But
I saw it. Yeah. Wow.
The other day there was a pod of about 5 or 6 of them right here where the surfers were. They were swimming all around the surfers.
Oh, that's so cool. So what do you do for mail?
Oh gosh, did you see that?
Yes, look at the splash.
Oh my gosh, it was SeaWorld. It was like SeaWorld.
Oh, I see them. There's a few of them, isn't there?
Yeah, watch them jump again. They might have a little school of fish there.
So what do you do for mail, to get your mail and stuff?
So I have a P.O. box. So I rented a house in town, and then so I was living in a little like 1-bedroom house for $700 a month, including my electricity. and so because I just had a hip surgery, and so when I moved there in September, in October, and so I had my street address, so then I was able to get a PO box. So I have a PO box.
Okay.
But you can't get a PO box unless you have a street address.
Yeah.
So, but you can get a PO box or a street address, and they have like the little mail places. They'll do it too, where you can sign up there and have your stuff there. All your stuff sent to like one of those, it's like a little mailbox plus places that do mail. So that's the other way you can do it too.
Yeah.
But I actually, or you can rent a spot at an RV park.
Yeah.
And then use that address to get a PO box.
Or have a good friend nearby or
something.
something
Like that. But if you don't have anybody, like I don't know a soul, So and one reason is because I don't want to know a soul.
Yeah.
So the town of Pahrump. You ever heard of Coast to Coast, the show, the late night radio show? It talks about UFOs and conspiracy stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah,
health
yeah.
issues.
Yes,
it's on
yes.
every night, really late.
Yes. But I don't know what channel it's on. I've heard
But
of it.
that show started in the town of Pahrump, where I'm at.
Seriously?
And so the town is 40,000 people, 75% retired. 75% of the retired people are ex-military, super conservative.
Yeah.
There ain't no Black Lives Matter stuff. There's no protesters. They'll close the main highway and have Trump rallies right on the highway. People, I mean, it's like, nobody, it's a bunch of, and
so
everybody's...
Pahrump for Trump?
And everybody's...
That's not your white man, is it?
No.
Oh, I wonder who's the white man now.
Why? What's happening?
Because I'm moving everybody and getting them in their own space. Everybody's over the line this way, and it's making everybody over the line now. Charm, my body can't get in.
I'm at the end, right at the very end.
So...
or I was at the end.
So it's a really concern. It's neat to go there because you don't have any of this California drama crap.
Shit.
You don't have any of this big city. I mean, it's so
just too
conservative.
controlling, yeah.
And everybody's older. Most everybody's older. And so there's BLM land right outside of the main strip in town, and then there's BLM land like a quarter mile. So all the homeless live on the BLM land for free. So there's no homeless living in the town.
Okay.
So you don't have like the homeless encampments or anything because they can live for free on the desert land.
Okay.
But it's a hard life. They look pretty tattered. But I always tell people, gosh, if you're going to be homeless, don't do it in San Diego, but do it in Southern California. Not just because I like to come here.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be homeless, I always tell these guys, why would you not look at girls all day, lay on the beach? You're laying in some alley in a city out in the desert somewhere. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Just get one ticket. Buy a bike and a boogie board, and now you're a surf bum.
Well, I think a lot of them have, mental challenges.
Yeah,
so it's not that easy, is it?
So that's the little town. It's really nice. It's got a Walmart, and it's got two grocery stores, Walmart, and then a Smith's.
So you've got your basic needs.
Yeah, it has all the basic stuff.
I just never been.
And like I said, it's only an hour from the strip. So, and prostitution's legal in the town, so there's a couple of whorehouses.
So there's a bunny ranch.
Yeah, they got the chicken ranch there. It's it's funny though.
That ties in with the business idea I had also.
There you go. Tell you what, you can roll out there. But it's a cool little place, and I like I said, I found it because I saw land on the internet, but where it was located was because you can go in some places, in a lot of like counties in Arizona, you can build a 10 by 20 foot building without any permits. It's considered a shed.
Okay.
But some places are 10 by 10.
Are you allowed to live in it 365 days?
You're not allowed to live in a
No.
Technically, you're not allowed to live in a shed.
Because they have that restriction.
Yeah, and technically, like in a lot of places, I'm telling you, all over Arizona, I've searched it out. I've looked at land in Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, California, and so I tried to get a place where there's no man's land, where I'm like, okay, there's no cops, because there's nowhere to. It's the very tip of the county, and there's nobody lives there because there's really no town. The town of Tacopa has a post office.
I'm pretty sure I've got photographs of the sign. There's a sign. I see a sign that I've taken a photograph of. What's when you looked for the land? Did you?
this is kind of out by my place.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is the sign but this is a sign. It's like a regular sign on the road. And I sent it to my daughter because we like to eat bacon. So, let's see here. Oh, here. I know how to do all this stuff. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, my finger on the bottom. It says, barbecue, beer, and bacon.
Oh my God.
The Tacoma Brewing Company.
Tacoma Brewing. I just feel it's so familiar. I've got to have driven through there. If
Yeah,
I was doing...
the name. If you go, do you remember when you went? Did you go through Death Valley?
Yes. Yeah.
So, and you were coming from Vegas?
Yes.
Then there's a good chance that you made a left on this Spanish Trail.
Actually, I'd also been to stay with friends for a few days who were in California City. They were military.
Yeah, that's off of 15th, Edwards Air Force Base.
So she works at Edwards and he worked at China Lake. So I was coming through from there as well.
Yeah.
So,
that's I know where California's at. That's by Tehachapi kind of.
Yes, yeah.
The desert's beautiful too. So.
Well, not everybody knows the fun of the desert and what's.
Well, people just think it's like
arid and there's nothing.
Yeah,
there.
they think it's the Sahara.
Yeah.
But there's I'm surrounded by mountains, snow-capped peaks for 5 months of the year.
Beautiful. Just knowing what you can eat out there.
Yeah.
Prickly pear, and I haven't learned. If there's a woman who does Blue Wind Botanicals, she does courses, and she's got an online course actually next week, which I might try and sign up for. And she teaches you everything you can eat or get that's indigenous to the whole of California or the desert. She goes around the whole of America doing it.
Oh, right on, man.
And so that's something that's really valuable, when you know what you can and can't eat or what you can grow. And, I've talked to local people here, and I have this prickly pear at home. And I say, the prickly pear are nearly ready right now. And I get, you get the water bottle, you cut the top off and you get it, you soak it in water overnight and all the needles come out and it's great, it's lovely. And the person that's grown up here said, I've never had that, I've never tried it. And it's great. It's really nice. You can just do so much,
Yeah.
So.
I love the Borrego Springs and the Palm Canyons out there.
Yeah. So the Palm Canyon at the back of Indian Head, at the back of the Hoburg where I stay, it burned down not a few months ago, not so long ago.
Oh, no.
There was a little oasis there that'd been there for a long, long time.
Well, it wasn't Sheep's Canyon, was it?
No, I don't think that name would ring a bell. It's at the back of Indian Head, just outside Borrego, and it's burnt down.
Because they have Palm Canyons in Borrego, just outside.
Yes.
That's the state park.
Yes, it's near there.
Yeah, so because the Palm Canyons that I used to, you drive a 4-wheel drive road, get out to them, and you hike up, and it's like a desert oasis, on a. There's crystal clear waterfalls.
So that
tumbling between the big boulders with palm trees.
Yeah, that could be it. Actually.
Yeah, it's called Sheep's Canyon.
Okay, so maybe I didn't hear that name.
Yeah, that one's called Sheep's Canyon, but there's a couple of other ones that are out there. I gotta Google that, man.
Yeah, well,
that's
find one that's burnt down and it's near.
Yeah.
Because the locals told me, it was the pool guy told me actually, because I wanted to go for a hike and he said no, it's burnt down. Somebody set fire to it. It was an accident. So.